How have you cheated death? When I was still a fetus, my mother suffered a heavy injury to her stomach, causing the death of my twin, but I survived somehow. The doctors basically told her she must stay bedridden for the rest of the pregnancy or else she would lose me too. So my grandma got her a SNES and she just played video games all day. I still have that SNES. Not sure it fits, but one time when I was like 13 I was messing around with my brother and a friend of us. Being teenagers with nothing to do on a hot summer day, we decided that we had to destroy something. Me and my brother had this shelter with a bunch of crap that nobody used, so we started destroying pieces of wood, chairs and things like that with a big ass hammer. At some point we had the brilliant idea to throw this hammer against a plank of wood and try to break it. It was my turn, so I throwed it against the piece of wood and it fucking bounced back, missing my head by a few centimeters. Had it hit me I would probably be dead right now. We stopped doing shit like that immediately. For that day. In 1977, while I was rushing to catch a bus, a man stopped me for change of $1 to use a payphone. I gave him change, missed my bus, and minutes later, it was in a horrible highway accident. I was dead for around 6 men at the bottom of a pool and they revived me. I had a screening for something else and my doctor found very early stage cancer at age 34. It was removed painlessly and completely in an afternoon. It's a cancer that usually affects people over 60 and doesn't have symptoms until it's too late. If I didn't have this other screening, I likely would have died a painful death from it in 10-ish years. When the doctor first called to give me the results, he said it was divine intervention, and never gave me the results of the test I came in for. I was chatting away with a bunch of friends in high school, standing in a pedestrian-only street. Suddenly my friend's face goes blank and she reaches out and pulls me in by my collar, without a word. A huge truck whooshes behind me, right by, not an inch to spare. It thundered by at full speed. I didn't even hear it until it passed me. She didn't have time to say anything or panic, just casually pulled me away from certain death. Very grateful for her quick reflexes. Congenital heart defect WPW, completely unknown until 35 years old. I was playing board games with a small group, vision narrowed until I came to looking up at EMTs. They had taken turns doing CPR for 14 minutes until medical arrived and shocked me 3x to bring me back. One surgery and defib install later and everything is pretty much normal with a cheap med. Had I been driving or at home alone, that would have been it. Those 4 guys don't pay for beers ever when we go out at it. Grammar / grammar, and now spelling. I was in a brutal car accident. My son was 5 at the time in the back seat. Our vehicle was hit 3 times like a ping pong ball during rush hour, pushed over 3 lanes into oncoming traffic. When we finally stopped, we had narrowly evaded being sandwiched between 2 transport trucks. My right arm was crushed and is now all titanium, but otherwise we made it out alive. My son without a scratch thanks to a properly installed car seat. Hours later I went into another portal, hopped up on a cocktail of ketamine, morphine, etc. I am convinced I entered the edge of life/death as it was a surreal experience. Don't know if this is cheating, but I was born dead, umbilical cord twice around my neck, and have tried suicide 3 times. Still here. My mom always wanted to save space so she could buy more things. In her mind, putting a dresser on top of another was a really good idea at a 3-year-old kid's bedroom, and I just wanted to grab my doll's clothes that were in the top drawer at the top dresser. So me, being a dumb, reckless kid, tried to climb both. The top dresser fell on me and almost crushed me, but a small, but resistant stool left a small space between the dresser and the floor where my mother found me minutes later. I got pushed into the other side of the highway by a 18-wheeler that suddenly merged into my lane. I still have nightmares seeing the oncoming cars. A bullet was an inch from my face. I was a C-17 loadmaster, and back in 2003 we flew a mission out of Baghdad, and our plane got hit by an SA-14 at about 1,200 feet. I just happened to be sitting behind the pilot in the left ACM seat, and I got to stare at a giant blowtorch erupting out of the top of our number 2 engine and flowing over the wing, where the fuel tanks were full. I fully expected the wing to explode any second until we were on the ground and the fire trucks were spraying us down. I had a tumor removed before it progressed to colon cancer, which it likely would have done if I hadn't gone to the doctor. I got in an accident with a drunk driver. Everyone that saw the car afterwards said the same thing. How are you alive? The roof where I was sitting was damn near touching the seat. I couldn't have fit back in there if I tried. I got pretty fucked up for sure, but thankfully I didn't die. I uncowlingly had a UTI, never really had one before, but I was always told the symptoms were things like dark urine, pissing blood, being itchy. I had none of them. I was trying to tough guy it out. but I had pain in my stomach for at least 5 days and I decided to go to urgent care because I couldn't eat or walk anymore. They thought my appendix had fucking blown, so they sent me to the ER, but it was a UTI abs tilde 24 HRS away from going septic and infecting other organs. I felt pretty fucking stupid, but at the same time I had no symptoms other than pain. Shit's scary. Remembered to put on my seatbelt. Got into a bad car wreck. Survived with bumps and bruises. Seatbelts save lives. The amount of drugs and drinking I did in college